My name's Alex. I'm with Humboldt Asian and Pacific Islanders and the Eureka Chinatown project. We're really excited the way everything came together this year with the street art festival and bringing Dave in as a muralist. We got started only in maybe March of this past year, and we've been a really fast-moving project full of community volunteers. So I really want to thank everybody that's been a part of the Eureka Chinatown projects, because we have lots of them. I also want to kind of honor the fact that there was a Chinatown where we are standing now before the 1880 expulsion. The history is forgotten, and so the theme of our mural is lost and found. And I think it ties in really nicely with the theme of the Eureka Street Art Festival this year and the kind of recovering of lost history. So I'd first like to introduce Bree, who is here today from the Eureka Chinatown project.
So hello everyone, and thank you for being here today. I'm Brianne Mirja D'Souza from the Eureka Chinatown project, and I just want to tell you a little bit about the project today. It all started because, like many of you, I was surprised to learn that there was a Chinatown here in Eureka. I was even more shocked to not see any signs or recognition of it in our town. So for me, as a Chinese American and a brand new mother, I knew this was something our community direly needed. I brought the simple idea of the plaque commemorating Chinatown to Alex at the Humboldt Asians and Pacific Islanders, better known as HAPI, and really the ball just started rolling from there. It quickly became very apparent that there was a lot of support for this initiative. First, the APA community rallied together, and then the City of Eureka enthusiastically jumped on board with a flurry of ideas and pushed us even further. It was invigorating to see the excitement and grow. Fast forward only 4 months later, and here we are. The Eureka Chinatown project is comprised of about 30 volunteer community members working together in 5 subcommittees on 7 major projects. The first to be installed is the Eureka Chinatown Lost and Found mural titled Foul that artist David Young Kim will speak about shortly. And in a few months, you can also expect educational signs at the corners of E and Fifth Street over in that corner, and F and Fifth Street right down the block. Those were donated by the City of Eureka. This alley right down this block here will be named in honor of the Chinese people that lived here before, also donated by the City of Eureka. We'll do in-person and virtual walking tours coordinated by the Clark Museum, online education, a lesson plan for local schools. Oh, and remember that plaque that I mentioned? Well, now that's morphed into a monument that we are working with our generous friends right here from Coast Central Credit Union on. That's just phase 1. We hope to further the community education and engagement in future projects. It's been incredible to watch these projects come together and to see this mural go up, but even more inspiring to witness the community come together for this cause, despite the challenges of the pandemic. This project has brought together a diverse group of community members. We have Chinese and Asian Americans, allies, historians, and educators, all who see the silences and gaps in our history and want to dig deeper. Every one of us is here to create change that makes a long-lasting impact in our community. And it's not possible without partners like Papa and Barkley, our presenting sponsor of the Chinatown Lost and Found mural. Your enthusiasm for this project and drive to improve our community is the fuel that keeps us going. Thank you for your commitment to social justice and advancing the APA community here in Humboldt. This mural, titled Foul, is the first step in reclaiming the common historical narrative and telling it from the voices that have not been heard. We hope by telling this story, we can learn from the past to help us move forward towards a more inclusive future. Sadly, the discrimination Chinese people experienced in the 1800s still continues today, as we are still called disease-ridden and the cause of COVID-19, foul, culturally unfit for the country, and blamed for stealing jobs. Dave's vision of the Foul mural elevates the conversation and creates a space to dispel stereotypes that have plagued Chinese Americans for generations. As I raise my son in this place I call home, I feel encouraged by how this community has embraced this project. and helped us move forward so quickly. By being here today and supporting the Eureka Chinatown project, you are part of change. Thank you so much.
So next I'd like to introduce our artist, Dave Kim. When we were first conceptualizing a mural project and working with the Street Art Festival, we knew we wanted to prioritize a Chinese or Asian American artist, and Dave was the submission that caught our interest the most based on all of the different components that he included in the mural, as well as his own history. So I'd like to welcome Dave Kim.
Hi, I'm Dave. I came in on Sunday night, and I've been working on this mural. Just a little bit of my process. My typical work consists of just digging into my personal history. I'm not Chinese. I'm actually Korean American, and just digging into family stories and researching how that relates to my life, my family life, and also how it connects to our present situation wherever we are. So when I was notified of this opportunity, it was right up my alley. I was excited. I had to do a lot of research. I didn't know this history myself. The history is, after the railroads and the gold rush sort of died out, the Chinese settled into towns up here, so around 1860. And for about 25 years, they created a community. 1885, there was an incident that happened where they were all kicked out. Within 3 days, they were just pick up and leave. When they were living here, right here on this block, there was a grade in this town, and all the sewage ran down into this area, and there's a creek, and all that stuff should normally drain into the creek. But the city planners built curbs so that the water pooled instead. And where the water pooled was where the tenements were, where the Chinese community was. So that became like a character. The dirty Chinese, the foul Chinese, the unclean, right? There was a particular line that stood out to me. It was written like in the 1880s, going, the Chinese were fond of ducks and they allowed them to swim in the pools by their homes. So it's kind of like this derogatory association with ducks. And so immediately I was like, I gotta bring back that duck. They were fond of the ducks, but they were put down because of the ducks. I gotta bring back that duck. So I was doing research. I was like, the Mandarin Duck, it's native to China. It's very beautiful, colorful. It means young love, happiness, they mate for life, children. Symbolically that works well because there are 200 men, Chinese men, and like 20 women. So, they're longing from home, they can't mate for life, they can't have children. They're kind of making these sacrifices to be here. So I'm like symbolically returning that to the Chinese. And then 1885, the first Chinese person comes back, Mr. Ben Chin, 1955. That's pretty recent, and that's a long time after. Mr. Ben Chin's family is here. And then you see a depiction of historical Chinatown in the background. I like to pull from traditional art, and although I'm Korean American, there's a heavy Chinese influence in Korean art, so it works for both cultures. The sun and the moon, so the circles are actually, the red circle is the sun and the white circle is the moon. So in traditional works, it depicts sort of like passage of time or for eternity. So it's like you pair it with auspicious symbols and then you put the passage of time on top of that, and it's like, I bless you for eternity, or I hope you have a long life, or happiness through the passage of time. So and they're decorative on the wall for that purpose, like a good omen or good luck. So in the same way, for Eureka and everyone here, it's sort of a blessing for you guys, right? And then the gold background is obviously the reason they came here in the first place, to seeking out, and like, why do people immigrate? Like, why do you leave your home to find something better? So, I'm sorry, the Chinese characters, that's Kate, my apprentice, by the way. She's a famous ceramicist, so look her up, Kate B.E. The Chinese characters are hometown. So sort of alluding back to China, but also this is hometown. For 25 years, this is home, and then you're asked to leave in 3 days. I think that's about it, right? Okay.
So this whole thing came about with the Chinatown project, and it just coordinated beautifully with the Mural Festival. So this is the 4th annual Eureka Street Art Festival, and I'd like to introduce Michelle, whose brainchild this whole program is.
Thank you all for coming. This festival has been a wonderful experience and a great thing, I feel like, for the community. It was very serendipitous on getting this wall in historic Chinatown. We were trying to have this little nice cluster of murals over here, and we had something set up for the wall that this mural is currently on. And it fell through, and we kind of went back and forth, and then we didn't have funding. And then we were approached with an idea, and it just worked out so beautifully that the bank was willing to sponsor, that you guys found an artist, and that it could be in historic Chinatown. So we're very excited as a festival to be able to provide that and to be a part of your guys' story, and to be able to support and be here. And thank you all for coming out and for being a part of this as well.
Another part of this is collaborations with the City of Eureka. We've been really fortunate that permitting for all of our projects was able to happen with the festival, and some of our other programs that are coming up. So I'd really like to introduce Seaman from the City of Eureka.
I do have to say that this has happened so quickly, and so I just want to give a little story. I think I was texted on a Saturday afternoon, and within the week we were doing a tour of the area, which was just enough time to pull the presses and not print our wayfinding signs, so that we can include Chinatown on it. So the whole idea that this festival is about wayfinding, and that we were able to include the wayfinding to find this treasure that we have in the middle of town, and reintroduce ourselves to history that's not always easy to know, but important to know, and certainly important to celebrate those that we have here today. And we're so grateful to have you here, and man, you guys you're doing it fast, and I love it. So thank you.
And last but not least, I'd like to introduce Evelyn, Wang from Papa and Barkley, who are our primary sponsor for the Lost and Found mural.
Hi everyone, it's great to be here tonight, and really an honor for Papa and Barkley to sponsor this event. I definitely want to say thank you to what I know is an all-volunteer team of organizers, so thank you so much. And I will look at my notes to make sure I don't forget anyone, but thank you so much to, of course, Alex and Bree. Thank you to the Eureka Chinatown Project, Swan Ashbury, Michelle Cartledge, and Jenna Katsos. Of course, Dave Kim, having done a little bit of research about you, I know you're a longtime storyteller and advocate of the Asian American community, so I can think of a better person for this project. And as a sponsor, we got a sneak peek of Dave's mural. And when I saw the Mandarin Duck, I didn't know everything that Dave had put into it, but I was very much struck by the Mandarin Duck in the mural because, as David said, I know that it is a symbol of love in China particularly. So the idea of having this symbol of love in this place where the history has largely been erased is really so powerful, to think of making something that is a silent history now very visible. So we're proud to be part of having this symbol to rectify, to start to acknowledge this past wrong that happened. As Papa and Barkley, we very much stand for social justice as part of our values. As many of you know, we're the biggest employer in Eureka, and we are a cannabis company, so we do often find ourselves in marginalized situations, so it's very important for us to speak for causes that stand for marginalized communities. And obviously, as an Asian American myself, this is incredibly meaningful. So we continue to be so proud to participate in events that help to beautify Eureka, our hometown, and to make it more beautiful. So thank you so much for having us.
Thank you. That's it for speakers this evening, but I did want to introduce just a couple of other people. We have Mary Chin and Don Chin, who are related to Ben Chin, who's in our mural. I'd like to thank the Clark Museum for all of their efforts in pulling together the history and leading walking tours for our community. Papa and Barkley and all of their employees that have been a part of this, and all of the volunteers from the Eureka Chinatown project. We all have just put our heart and soul into this, so I just am really happy to be a part of this community.